Okay, so if R at least equals C, if I say I want at least $5, then I want $5 or more. So if I want it at least to equal C, I want it to be greater than or equal to C. Okay, and then you're going to take these equations, which you already know, and you can replace, right? You know what R is, you know what C is, it tells you, and so go ahead and replace those and solve. Greater than or equal. $30x plus 5250. Can you solve that, please? And we're going to give the answer in interval notation. So find the answer, and then we'll put it in interval notation, okay? X is greater than or equal to 350. Let's go ahead and graph that, and then we'll write an interval notation. Okay, so it's at 350. Open or close? Greater than or equal to, and to the right. To put that in interval notation, remember you go left to right. So it's going from 350, which has a bracket, to what? Infinity and beyond, right? Okay. Okay, the bulk of our day is going to be spent on absolute value. Okay. We're going to come back to B, I think, later, because it's a weird one. We'll look at C. What do you think you need to do first? Move the 1. Yeah, you cannot do anything. You can't split it up like this unless your bars are isolated. So step 1, isolate the bars. So we're going to move the 1. Now that your bars are isolated, now you can split it up. Do not do it until that step. So first thing is isolate the bars. And then you can split it, negative, positive. Okay? Would you go ahead and finish that one up? 2x minus 4 is equal to negative 4. 2x minus 4 is equal to positive 4. Do I change the sign on this one, make it 2x plus 4?
No.
No, you should not. That was a question in my last hour, and that's a common mistake that I see. You only change the sign of the thing that is after the equal sign, so of this constant here. Only change the sign of that. Do not change what's inside of the bars. Don't change the expression, please. Okay, solve both and give my two answers. And 4. How does that sound? But we're just going to go ahead and split it. So negative positive. 3x plus 2 is equal to positive x minus 5. Okay, and then the other one obviously is going to be negative. But when you do this, you need to make sure that the entire expression becomes negative. So put a negative out in front. 3x plus 2 is equal to negative x minus 5. What do you think you're going to do with that negative? Distribute. Okay, can you go ahead and solve both? And you're going to get some lovely fractions for answers, okay? All right, you should have negative 7/2 for one of them and 3/4 for the other. Okay, this is the point where you can split it up once you get the bars alone, okay? And solve. Okay, this one, the bars are isolated. You have to make sure the bars are isolated first. And then you can decide, all right, looking at the sign, is it and or or? This is and. Okay, so you're going to write it all together in one condensed inequality. 4x minus 6, less than 10, greater than or negative 10. This is something you should know how to do, because we did it earlier this week. Can you please solve? Make sure what you do to the inside, you also do to the left and right. For the sake of making your notes helpful, here's what's happening on an and. You have the expression in the middle, so that stays the exact same. The positive number here, the negative number there. Okay, check your work. 4, hello, negative 1. We're going to go ahead and graph these today for the sake of getting more practice with interval notation. You should add 6 and then divide by 4, which is how we get negative 1 less than x less than 4. Okay, so on our number line, plot at negative 1 and 4. Open or close circles, and it's in between negative 1 and 4. Okay, so you're going to put in interval notation, negative 1, comma, 4. It should not have any infinities because it's not going to infinity. So keep it, switch, switch, or the acronym for that is KISS, okay? Okay, go ahead and graph it, and we're going to do an interval notation. So make your little number line. Less than negative 1, greater than 4. We did not do one like this yesterday, and so let's make sure we understand how to deal with an or. Because we're going to go left to right, I start with, obviously I go from negative infinity up to negative 1, parentheses, because it's an open circle. Do not write the word or, you need to use a union from 4 to infinity. Okay, so that's, I think you're going to see some of those on your compound inequalities too. So just make sure that you are using a union when it's split apart like that and you have an or. Okay, when you think that you have it, you can check your work, and then again, we need to make sure that we are actually understanding how to write interval notation with an or, because that's confusing. Hold on. Okay. The hardest part here is making sure you understand that you're going left to right both times. So left to right. On the leftmost side of this graph, it goes from negative infinity up to 0, which is a closed circle, so it gets a bracket. Union, now left to right again. So 16/5 gets a bracket because it's closed. Going to infinity as it goes to the right. Left to right each time. If I want to know how far k is from 8, then I do k minus 8. And I'm taking the absolute value because we know that distance should be positive. And it should be no less than 5 units. So we want it to be 5 units or more. Greater than or equal to 5. No less. It tells you right there. Okay, let's look at the next one. n is 0.001 units. I think that should say from or of 6. Okay, from 6, okay? So again, we're comparing n to 6, and we're saying it's within 0.001 units. So if I take n and I subtract 6, that distance between them should be within 0.001. So I want it to be 0.001 or less. Like if I say that I live, or I don't know, I'm trying to come up with an example. Okay, 3 of the 4 properties on the previous page require b to be positive. If b is less than or equal to 0, know that the absolute value of any expression must be non-negative and consider the truth of the statement. Okay, let's look at A. It's saying the absolute value of this thing is equal to 0. We've been saying, okay, there's 2 numbers that have the absolute value 5, for example, 5 and negative 5. This is equal to 0. What numbers have an absolute value of 0? Are there 2?
0.
Yeah, just 1, 0. And so there's only one number that has an absolute value of 0, so to do this, you're not going to split it into 2. You would just say 7x plus 28 is equal to 0, and solve. Can you go ahead and do that? That's an easy one. You should have -4. Okay, so notice there's not 2 answers because only one number has a distance from 0 of 0, and that's 0. Okay, let's look at the other 2. I'm going to give you a spoiler. One of these is no solution, and one of them is all real numbers. So you got B and C. Can you discuss at your table which do you think is which? If absolute value always has to be positive, then which one implies that and which one does not? Okay, think about if it's less than or equal to 5. So we are at -5 left. Okay, what kind of numbers are less than or equal to -5? Negative numbers. And can the absolute value be negative? Heck no. So this implies that it's negative. And for that reason, since we know that a distance must be positive, you would say no solutions. Remember, when you put your car in reverse, your odometer does not go backwards. It does not work. And so distance is always positive. So if it says an absolute value is negative, then you should say right away, no solutions. But that's because it's less than or equal to negative. Look at C. You're at -2, and it is it greater? Greater. Okay, obviously not right away, but what kind of numbers end up being greater than -2?
All positive numbers.
All your positives, and we know that absolute value should always be positive, and so that should always be the case. And since absolute value is always positive, that's what this is implying. You can say all real numbers. Anything would make an absolute value positive.
0.
All real numbers. Because even if you end up with a negative inside of the bars, the distance from 0 will be positive.